I had one guy actually go out and throw up in the trash can.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, everybody wants to look younger and feel younger.
Yes, they do. Myself included.
Yeah, same. I mean, so anti-aging is the deal. It's the big deal.
It's the big deal. But
Yeah.
do you do it through needles and injections, knives and surgery, or is there a better way?
Oh, there's better ways for sure. Yeah. There's even meds that people go to because they think that that's, the way. And it's interesting because I was listening to a scientific one on anti-aging. I was like, okay, and there were some interesting things that they were talking about, and you've probably heard some of them. With how they do anti-aging in the science realm area. So, are you familiar with any of those? Because one of them was like, I don't know how much they've done it with people, but blood transfusions.
Oh yeah. They have the ozone treatments. They have the you just go in and have your blood cleaned. I've seen that done, and that's truly just a homeopathic or naturopathic thing. I went in, this was years ago. I went in with my mother-in-law and had a vitamin B. We did the vitamin B infusion.
Yeah.
And while we were in there, there was another lady in there who was having her blood cleaned. Just because.
I've heard of that before, but this is really more, it was a mouse study that they did. And it was kind of like, it was a little on the gross side, honestly, but they took 2 mice, and apparently this is something they've been doing since the 1920s, this kind of animal testing type thing. But they basically attached 2 mice together.
What?
Surgically. Yeah. And it was an older mouse and a younger mouse. And so they kind of grew together, so to speak. And the blood was going from the older to the younger to the, back and forth.
Okay.
And they did that for like 12 weeks. I know that's kind of gross when you think about it. And the interesting thing about the study was they did see the older mouse have some younger traits. And then they saw the younger mouse have some older traits. So there was something about that. And I mean, as we get older, there's going to be more crap in our blood, honestly, from all the things, environmentally, through our food. I mean, everything, our water.
Did it say in the study notes how the older mouse had lived, like what kind of food it had eaten throughout its life versus the younger mouse? Okay.
Of course not. But then they tested them after they separated them after 12 weeks and, did testing on them. And I think they said that one thing they found was the older mouse did live like 10% longer. And so they also said something to the effect of when they were joined, it was equivalent for them of like 7 years, like 7 people years of them being joined together. So I was like, well, that's interesting. So, and I know there's some big millionaires out there that have done some blood transfusions from younger sons and stuff like that. But the scientist who was talking about it was like, I don't think you really can get that kind of response from just getting a blood transfusion from somebody. It's not, the cleaning of the blood like you're talking about. I don't know what all it's cleaning out, but that might be a better option, and perhaps a more natural option to do something like that. And then there was one with plasma was another one. where they did plasma injections. But then again, it's the same thing. It's only so much that
Well, and it's
you're getting out.
temporary until you do it again, right? So
Correct.
they're very expensive procedures and they only last for a short amount of time, especially if you go on living the way you're currently living. Because apparently
Exactly.
you're in there because your lifestyle isn't conducive to anti-aging.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, I'm not recommending these things, but these are the things that they're doing out there and they're trying out there. And it's like, okay. And it was really funny because then at the very end of the video, and they said, the lady who was doing the video asked the doctor that she'd been talking about who did this mouse study, she goes, so do you do this? Do you do this blood transfusion thing? Do you, what are you doing? And he goes, well, honestly, I'm super boring and I eat better and I do exercise. I'm like, and this is a scientist. This is not naturally a natural holistic person. This is, somebody who's diving into more conventional science. So, and she's like, she goes, that's, nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth.
Yep. It is the truth.
You got to change something also. And maybe those things would work better if you also changed these other things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one thing.
Sadly, as we've evolved in the past 100 years and technology has become what it is and medicine has become more accessible and plastic surgery has become more inventive, and I think that people go for the instant gratification because that is the world that we live in, right? But what are the side effects of that? There's a reason that there are shows out like Botched now and these, oopsie, I gave you too much filler injections, or oopsie, I cut your boobs and they sit like this on your body now. I mean, there's a reason that those shows exist because too many people are getting these procedures done because they want to look younger or whatever. But here's my question for that. How many of those people that get all of this stuff done in the medical world, how many of them feel younger? They might look in the mirror and go, oh my gosh, I look so much better. But what does your body feel like? You've got all these toxic chemicals in your body now.
Right.
On top of however you're eating.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Because I mean, to me, it's always been about quality of life as opposed to quantity. But if you clean up your quality of life with your health, you're going to probably get more years and they're going to be better years. And, I mean, you want to feel better also. You look better, feel better, and it will go together. You start changing things. I mean, yeah.
So
I challenge the people in my I challenged the people in my email list I gave them some strategies yesterday on anti-aging, and I said, try it for a month. Here's a few strategies. Try this for a month and look in the mirror and see what you see, because you will start to see changes. You will start to, and when you start feeling better, then you will do more. And then what happens? You're doing more of what God put you on this earth to do. Because you feel good. So, I mean, it's really, to me, it starts with what you put in your body. How do you fuel your body? Clean water is probably one of the best things you can do to help flush out those toxins. Drinking enough water is going to increase your energy. And that's going to help you feel better totally. And then you might feel like doing more. So you might feel like exercising, which is another thing that, helps with inflammation. It helps with your feel good chemicals in your brain. It's all goes together that you start feeling better, you'll start doing more, and then, fueling your body with the right foods. Because there's a lot of foods that you can use, that the antioxidants, bring those in, which is also going to help with you feeling and looking younger. So, and that's a more natural approach to it. And I mean, you can spend money on supplements and vitamins, but or you can, work on getting better foods into your body.
Mhm.
So
You can eat red meat.
you can eat red meat, which yeah,
Stop
no, because
looking at the suggestions that red meat causes heart disease and actually put it in your body.
yeah, because it's not just antioxidants, but it's also the omega-3 fatty acids and grass-fed beef, grass-fed lamb. That was on the list of things to use to for anti-aging. So meat is not off the table. It's not going vegetarian, vegan. That's your woo. That's going to make you feel and look younger. Actually, it won't. But unless you are, there are some people that it works for, absolutely, but not everybody, and not most everybody.
Yeah. So Sheri and I have two very different perspectives around food.
Mhm.
Sheri is a veggie eater and a meat eater, and I am a strict meat eater. And I've bounced back and forth, but I will say this: I don't eat vegetables, and I haven't eaten vegetables for years. I have bounced off of carnivore into the carb space because I was stress eating or emotionally eating or whatever. But when I am practicing a carnivore protocol, I feel a lot better and I don't process vegetables well. I've had multiple stool tests done over many years and my body does not process vegetables, which is fine. I don't mind not eating vegetables. I don't miss them anymore. Um, but I will say this, in my determination to eat a more carnivore diet, I've always been concerned about what that's going to look like for me where Alzheimer's is concerned, because I had read that. So, one of the doctors that I started following when my mom was sick with Alzheimer's, he is a ketogenic plant based doctor. So, that's what he promotes. Sorry, I have an itch on my eye. That's what he promotes is ketogenic plant based. Well, that's not, I can't follow that. So, I really started looking into red meat because he was saying that red meat eaters produce a higher amount of homocysteine, which is a marker for Alzheimer's. But the more I looked into it, homocysteine is a danger if you have low vitamin B in your body. All people who are diagnosed with Alzheimer's have low vitamin B12 specifically, but low vitamin B count in their body. Meat, red meat in particular, and if you can get away, if you are like me, I will eat my red meat almost raw. If you will eat it less cooked, those vitamins and nutrients in it are so much more dense, and it's one of the highest forms of vitamin B that you can get, and you don't have to eat liver to get it. You can get it straight from the steak. You can eat a ribeye
Right.
and get red meat or get all the vitamins. But it is one of the highest forms of B that you can get without having to consume a lot of vegetables or different vegetables. It's also a complete protein. So you cannot get a complete protein with all the amino acids that you need if you're eating a strict vegetarian or vegan diet. And for the amount of protein that you can get from 8 ounces of meat, you would need to eat 6 cups of something like quinoa, or 4 ounces of meat. I'm sorry. You'd have to eat 6 cups of quinoa. Like, so
Which is
consider the amount of food, the amount of carbs, the amount of, you
mm,
know, grain that you're putting into your body. Sheri balances hers with vegetables and protein, and she's been doing it for much longer than I have. And I mean, you would probably fall over if she told you how old she is because she looks my, and we're not close in age, but she's amazing at keeping herself young and youthful. But there's also something else that you do every day that I think keeps you
every
so
day.
young. What's that?
Uh, what is it? Every day. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do every day because I'm very regimented and things. Um, and I will say, in July I will turn 61. So, um,
Yeah.
It's still hard to say because I'm like, really? Am I over 60? Oh my gosh. That was old with my mom, but not with me. Anyway, in my
Right.
head. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things I do. I sit in the sun a little bit each day, and yeah, because I feel the sun is healing.
But do you put
And I
anything
know we
on your
talked about this
skin
last
when you
time.
sit in the sun?
No, I don't. And I'm not out there for a long time. But even when I am out there for a long time, I don't put sunscreen on my body. And I would say go back and watch last week's
Put a link in the show
conversation
notes.
about sunscreen, and you'll understand why. And you'll understand what to look for in a sunscreen, because that's important also. And why we don't need sunscreen.
Mhm.
So that's just another thing, because that is causing your body to age, is using the sunscreen because of the chemicals in it.
Yeah.
So, and they've even you can even go out. It's amazing. You can even go out to some of the cancer websites, and they will tell you that
Mhm.
sunscreen causes cancer. So, just saying, not all of them. Just
Yeah.
so go out and do your research on that one, and listen to what we said if you want to. And there's links in that one too. You can go research. But yeah, so that's one thing I do. And movement, exercise. I try to get that in. Well, I do every day,
Yeah.
whether it's walking or I do high intensity interval training 3 times a week. So that is also, really, it's probably the most beneficial exercise you can do. I add in weights with it. So,
That was gonna be my next thought too. So weightlifting, which I have not been doing lately, weightlifting is so beneficial for anti-aging.
mhm,
And for a number
mhm.
of reasons, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna look younger by lifting weights other than you're gonna look stronger, but it creates neuroplasticity in your brain. It creates, um, uh, oh my gosh, I just lost my total train of thought.
Well, I mean,
Come back to me.
it's creating the good feeling hormones in your body, so that you are, um, again, feeling better and wanting to do more.
Yeah,
And it provides a confidence also
absolutely.
in how you feel and how you present yourself. And, it, you're just like, you feel better about yourself. So
Yeah,
you will feel younger.
yeah, you will. Oh, autophagy. That was the word I was looking for.
I was wondering if that's what you were looking
Yeah.
for.
So heavy lifting promotes autophagy and actually can promote autophagy faster than fasting. I hate to say that because we have a fasting coach that's one of our business partners and friends, but it's the truth. It can promote autophagy. What autophagy is it's the cellular healing process that our bodies go through. So if you're in autophagy through heavy lifting or fasting, your body is going through and um, or it's cleansing itself of any damaged cells. So now
Hmm.
you're looking at anti-cancer treatment through heavy lifting. You're looking at anti-Alzheimer's treatment through heavy lifting. So there are so many benefits to just putting some weights in your hand.
Yeah, and they don't have to be heavy.
No,
You do
well,
not
I
have
say heavy
to do
lifting. I'm
heavy weights.
thinking
You
like
can
20 pounds.
start.
Yeah, yeah,
You start with lesser weights, and you build up.
yeah.
Um, you know, you don't have to. I teach a class, and I have since 2010 for HIIT training, and I've got people in there that are 69.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been with me since 2010, and they are. I mean, next year they're turning 70. So, and they're still on it. And it's, some of the things might change and how they do things, but they're out there doing it.
Mhm.
And we've actually had some men that have tried to join our class. um, the funny thing about it is the men will go, competitive. They've got to go harder than the women. They never come back. I don't know why, but
Imagine that.
I had one guy actually go out and throw up in the trash Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah.
it.
I mean, this was years ago, but it was just because he was just like bam, bam, bam. He
Yeah.
was trying to do it so hard, and he hadn't been exercising. So, but take it slow and easy, and build up to it. It's just
Yes. Yeah.
basically, you don't have to lift 50 pounds right out of the gate. So
Yes, don't do that. You could hurt yourself. You definitely could hurt
yeah,
yourself. But yeah, but
yeah,
the point being added weight. So, you know, I've seen women here since we moved back to California that wear ankle weights while they're walking.
oh
I've
yeah, yeah, yeah,
seen
yeah.
people wearing a weighted vest while they're walking.
Hmm.
I've
Yeah.
seen people carrying little 2-pound dumbbells while it's just adding that little extra that can make all the difference in the world. And you build up fast. You can build muscle really fast if you're consistent with it.
Hmm.
So
Yes,
that's been
yes,
my issue lately. I've not been consistent. So
yeah. Well, I mean, and again, it's working up to it, because when you get out of it, your body, it doesn't take long to get out of
mhm.
being fit, um, but you can get back into it,
Yeah,
and
oh yeah. I
yeah,
have dumbbells
absolutely.
in a closet. In fact, today I am pulling them out of the closet. So I'll just take just like 10 minutes throughout the day, multiple 10-minute sessions throughout the day and do a little
There you
squat,
go.
do some squats
Yeah.
or some bicep curls or whatever. And my weights only have 10 pounds on them right now. So
Hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just that you can add in exercises all through your day. And they say that, even 10 minutes 3 times a day is better than nothing. So it's the same as doing 30 minutes altogether. So it's just moving. The ladies in my class will tell you, I just tell them to move.
yeah.
I'm like, if you can't do this, just move. Just do something. If that exercise is not going to work for your knees or your back or whatever, then do this exercise, the other one,
Yeah.
and just move. So find what works for you, because it's important. And then whatever type of exercise is great.
And I
So,
know a lot
and
of
I think,
people work in offices, they sit all day. My husband and I have standing desks. We work from home and they were super cheap. They were less than $200 a piece. But we got motorized standing desks so we can sit and stand throughout the day. Because I don't, so it's really good to move your body. But from my personal experience is if I don't get up and move and then consistently have some movement throughout the day, my afternoon walk really, it's good for me. We go on a nighttime walk every day and it's good for me. We go up these hills and, get our heart rate up, but I'm more lethargic throughout the day. And it's a harder hurdle for me to climb to go out and do that afternoon walk if I've been sitting at my desk all day and not doing
oh
anything
yeah,
throughout the day.
I
So
think it brings you down
it
too.
does.
It just
It's a
mentally, it
serotonin.
it brings you down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's one that I love. Um, so leave your desk. I mean, like, we both work at home, and I have a standing desk. That's why I'm moving a lot. But and mine doesn't lower. So I do have a taller chair, but I never use it. My husband's like, why don't we get rid of this? And I'm like, no, I think we'll keep it.
Maybe one day I'll sit. Sherry, yeah, Sherry doesn't sit. I think you
No,
said
I don't
that
sit a
though
lot.
when you were doing your software development though, yeah? Didn't you sit?
I did, but they did go to like standing. It's like I got them to raise my desk in the cubicle, and so I could go to more of a standing option.
Nice.
And so, I mean, and if you want to go to a standing desk, which is really good, um, I took my desk, and this is the cheap way out, okay? Because I didn't want to lower it. It's okay. I took tall bed risers and put them under each leg, and it's about the right height for me. So,
Yeah.
saying you can come up with different ways to raise your desk. But the one thing that I was going to suggest, and this is I think also that laughing is something that is also anti-aging. Because why? Because it reduces stress. But here's something with laughing and movement that I'm going to give you to do. So, and it's one of my favorite exercises, is the next time you're working And if you're not in the office, or if you are, because you can do it there, I don't care. But your office mates, get them to do it with you. Skip to the bathroom. So skip through your house. Try to skip. And my ladies were like, I can't skip. And I'm like, you can skip. Just, try to remember, it is, coordination also, but it will make you laugh. You cannot skip without laughing or smiling. So skip.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You know what? I'm gonna get my husband to skip up the hill today.
So, I mean, we do it in our boot camp class. We don't have a lot of room, which we used to have, but I will just power up. I'll go up higher with my skip. So that's something you can add in later. If skipping gets too easy, then, yeah, but I challenge you to do that because it will make you laugh.
It does. It makes you smile automatically. I agree.
It does. I think it brings you back to childhood, and whether you can do it or not, I mean, just try, and if you have a younger person, they can maybe help you with it.
There was a cute Instagram video out not too long ago. I don't know, maybe it was YouTube. Anyway, it was a family trying to teach grandpa how to skip again, and watching him try to remember how to skip was hilarious.
Oh
my gosh, if I can find it, we'll put it in the show notes. It's so stinking cute. Oh my gosh.
Yep. And I mean, laughing. I mean, you do need to laugh. So, and reduce stress. So whatever ways you have to reduce stress, that is another anti-aging strategy to look at. And I know everybody's like, stress, who doesn't have stress? But
well, yeah,
we're all going to have stress. We're all going to have stress, whether it's work or, I mean, it doesn't matter. Even when you retire, you are stressed. There's stress. So, having those things that that you can help reduce your stress, prayer, meditation,
sure,
getting outside, and, even if it's just sitting outside, put your bare feet on the ground and ground. Get the energy from the earth. So there's a lot of things you can do to help. Exercising obviously is going to help. That's my go-to for removing stress.
And so this is something that Sheri taught me early on when we first met, and I love it. I love it. There are always going to be times in your life where you are going to end up in a situation where maybe you have to consume food that is, in our opinion, toxic. It has seed oils in it. It has, it's fried. It's, all the things that we're taught that we need to stay away from. There are going to be times in your life where you're going to do that. Maybe you're at a birthday party and you don't want to not have that piece of cake. Who knows? Whatever the case may be. Sheri taught me this a long time ago, and I just love it. There's scripture that says, ask and you shall receive. If you know you're going to consume something like that, you pray. You pray before you put it in your body, and you ask God to make it nourishing for you. And He can totally turn something super gross and just crappy ingredients into something that will actually heal your body. I'm not suggesting that you do that for every meal, because that's pretty much saying, hey, God, because you can, and He can, but I'm saying under circumstances that are not normal,
right,
to God,
exactly.
and ask God to make it healing and healthy for you, and He totally can. No guarantees that He will, but He can, because there are times when we are in those predicaments. So.
Absolutely. No, that's good. That's a good reminder. A prayer in general, right? So, that God also asks us to honor our bodies.
Yes.
For Him. So how can you honor your body? And one other strategy that I was thinking of that I know you're a better practicer of it than I am is sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, getting enough sleep, because that's when your body repairs.
It is. And for whatever reason, through all the brain studies for Alzheimer's that I've ever read, the hours of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. are the high cleansing hours. So yes, I am very neurotic about being asleep in that 4-hour window. Last night I was not. I woke up at 1:30 this morning, but
oh no.
Well, I mean, I went back to sleep, but the point being, there's that 4-hour window. It's kind of the same thing I find this very interesting because I was always taught that the hours of 10 to 2 during the day are the best time to get sun, and then the hours of 10 to 2 at night are the time you need to be asleep, so your
That is interesting. Yeah.
so, yeah, you wanna I mean, I know there are so many people who love that late night life, but that is the window of when you need to get sleep so that your brain can connect the memories and clean itself up from any toxins that you've put in through the day. And there's actually an interesting there's a really good book called Why We Sleep that I got a lot of that information from, and I just love the doctor who wrote it. He was in at Cambridge, I think, and he was studying and doing his internships with Alzheimer's patients and dementia patients and their sleep. And that's where he got a lot of his information from in the book. But it's actually really interesting. We have a specific regiment that we're supposed to go through in our sleep cycles where we're in light sleep and then REM, but your REM is not supposed to start until later in the evening, like later in your sleep cycle. So you're supposed to get your deep sleep. And I track my sleep through a Fitbit. I don't wear an Apple Watch because I don't want to be connected to the Apple world all the time. But I track my sleep through a Fitbit, and it's so interesting how you get a sleep score every night. And when my REM starts too early in the night, my score drops because
Oh,
my cycle
interesting.
isn't happening the way it's supposed to. So, like last night,
Mhm.
because I woke up multiple times, I I had a really low sleep score versus when I sleep
Mm.
through the night and I go through deep sleep, light sleep, and then REM. It's so fascinating. Sleep is so fascinating to me. So,
It is. It is. Yeah. And the 10 to 2, from what I understand, is when your body's healing, and the 2 to 6 is when you're psychologically healing.
mm,
So you do a
yeah,
lot of healing during that time as well. So it's not, oh, at 2 o'clock I can go out and
yeah,
party.
yeah, yeah.
No, stay in bed.
Stay in bed.
Yep, stay in bed.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah.
So
So
lots of ways to anti-age. Um, I will say this, even though I had done some things in the last year through a lot of stressful events in my own life to not practice anti-aging routines. I have done it enough over the years that I do look younger than I am. Sometimes I don't feel like I do. And my husband and I are 15 years apart, him being younger, and people don't know that. Nobody knows that unless I tell them because they say I look so much younger. And of course, he's starting to show
mhm,
some gray, so he's looking a little older too. But yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's you can start anytime. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Mhm.
It really doesn't.
No, oh, no. There's a lady on Instagram who's turned I mean, she's relatively famous at this point in the fitness world anyway. Her name is or her Instagram handle is Train with Joan, and she was 71 maybe? I don't know. She was in her 70s, morbidly obese, knee problems, hardly moving around,
Mm,
and her daughter had been a fitness competitor for years and years and years. And her daughter finally gave her an ultimatum and said, "You will come do this with me, or I will not help you anymore." So she followed her daughter's instructions. She trained and she completely turned her life around. And she is super strong now. And it only took a year for her to completely transform her body. And now she's just maintaining at this point and getting stronger. But
mhm,
her story is unbelievable, which is why she's developed so much fame around it because they've tracked her entire process. But she just amazes me. But then, because I started following her, I see a lot of other people who are doing the same thing at later years. I don't recommend it because there's a lot of damage that gets done to your body up until that point that, I mean, it can be reversible, but I would suggest starting much earlier, if you can. But
mhm.
it's like Sheri said, there's no age that you can be where you can't start and heal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
I know 80-year-olds that are out there doing races. They're running races. Yeah.
yes.
I mean, it's like, so, I mean, take that as inspiration. no matter how old you are. I mean, it's inspiring to me to know, because that's what I aspire to be, is to be that person that is doing those things when I'm still, every year, like last year when I turned 60, my kids took me water skiing, which is what I wanted to do. And that was amazing, and so I hope to be able to water ski, for the rest of my life, honestly.
Why not?
And it does take a lot of strength, but it's like, I want to make sure that I can do that thing,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so find your motivation and do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And reach out if you need, because we're happy to help you stay on the right track.
Absolutely.
Get started or whatever. So
Sheri just became a certified functional nutrition what's your title?
And life
and
lifestyle practitioner.
Thank you. Yes.
Yep.
So Sheri has she has all the certifications now. I just have life experience. I am a certified keto and carnivore coach, but I just have life experience for the most part.
Well, and a lot of it has been life experience, which is just like, I just want to keep learning, and I know we do, and so that I can help other people, because I see people, I go to the grocery store and I'm just like, oh, I could help you. I could so help you. But you have to want to be helped also. So
yes. There are too many resources out there today to be able to say, I don't know. I mean, you pretty much have to be in a hole to say you don't know.
Yeah. And you can find anything you want either way. So you go out there and look and find out that, oh, well, that's really bad for me. Well, is it? Check your resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, so maybe soon we'll do another ingredient checklist for people. Yeah. All right. Definitely. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We this is our wheelhouse right here. We're so glad to be able to give you some information on anti-aging. If you have a tip or a trick that you use that is natural or holistic based, please let us know. Put it in the comment section below. And if you have something that you've done that you would like to try and reverse, put that in the comment section below too, because Sheri might have something she can help you with. Other than that, we ask that you continue to join us for this fun Christ coffee and conspiracy journey. And yes, we do believe there's a lot of conspiracy around the aging process. We'll dive into that one day too. And in the meantime, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with everyone you know. And we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.